The moment we went in, Swami created a chain for my mother and then told my father to put it on my mother. And when my father was putting it on my mother, he was chanting the Mangal Sutra mantra. And then she says, "Is that not 60th birthday?" I think there was a silence.
Sairam, dear listeners, welcome to Sai SOUL 100. Our guest today is Brother Chandrasekhar Sharma from Flushing, New York. Sairam, Brother Chandra, thank you for joining Sai SOUL 100. Please share your story.
So first of all, thank you for this opportunity. So what came to my mind was this whole quote of Swami, where he talks about duty without love is deplorable, duty with love is desirable, love without duty is divine. So that really struck a chord with me. So we'll talk about more on the second and third line, which is more around duty with love is desirable and love without duty is divine. So I'll start with the first one, which is duty with love is desirable. So when we talk of duty with love is desirable, what comes to my mind is I'll start with a personal experience, which is where this is back, and I'm going to date myself, but back in early 90s, right? And that's the time when I was a Sevadal. We used to frequent Parthi. I'm from Chennai. So my brother was studying in Parthi. He was doing his master's there. I think we were fortunate enough to be called in for an interview when my brother was studying there. And lo and behold, we were sitting in that inside interview room, right? It's Swami sitting in the chair. Then it's my brother and myself doing the Path Seva, and then my parents right beside us. And then Swami asked, "What do you want?" Obviously, I know the thing which came to my mind immediately was, "Swami, I want to join your college." I was right below him. And immediately he said, "Yeah, next year." That time I was in my 12th grade. Next year, yeah, I'll give you a seat. Next year, come down. Yeah, take the exam. Yeah, I think then obviously, right, when Swami says this, I said, "Thank you, Swami." It was very simple, involuntary response to anything, right? Then Swami got wild. What even now I remember, that was like that red hot face of Swami. Swami was very beautiful, very, very, sweet. Just before that moment, I said, "Thank you." He just bent down. He was just right on my face saying, "Why are you saying thank you? It is my duty." Like at that time, yes, I think it was beautiful. I almost got scared because Swami suddenly transformed from that beautiful, form into a very aggressive form. But then what struck me, right? I think this is where I, talk about, yes, it is duty with love, right? But then the other angle of, when Swami says it's my duty, it is timeless, right? It didn't mean only for giving me admission into his college, right? It is my duty for everything, right? I think, at that time I didn't realize it. Now I know, right? I'm so grateful. So I was more from the Brindavan campus, right? So the very fact of, I always loved sitting back and seeing how these festivals are, I at that time I didn't have a view into how they are planned. The only thing I could see was the day of the festival, or anytime a big personality comes and how that works, right? Now I could get a view of how things get planned. That really, I was blown away by it, right? Because the scale at which things happen and things change. And there was Swami all sitting, orchestrating it, not just from a divine perspective, right? It's like physically doing it. That used to amaze me a lot. And one such example is, something very close to me was, there was this exhibition match, cricket match being planned there. Sachin is going to come, Saurav Ganguly is going to come. These are all big names in cricket, right? Obviously, the stars were there. And then the entire Hillview Stadium started transforming itself. There was a green turf all around. I was like, and I mean, it was beautiful now when I think of it, right? And then we had all the stars come in, they played the match. Swami, in fact, came and sat for quite, not for the whole duration of the match. But then what was interesting was the way we all got involved in it, the way he prepared for it. V.S. Lakshman is another, legend, cricket legend. So he was asking Lakshman as if Swami didn't know. Hey, tell me, how do you, when players come, what do they eat? And that's when we knew cricketers, they eat bananas in between a game. I mean, that's a very simple fact, but we didn't know about it. So these are things which are like very subtly imbibed in you, right? Meaning when you plan, okay, what do the cricketers eat? What are the things they will need? Because you only focus on the game. You don't focus on what happens before and after, right? Here is Swami, literally telling you how to plan things. This is just an example. And then during the game, what happens? After the game, how do you felicitate these people, right? I used to play for the band. So we were called into, I have a very, I love that photo, right? Which is basically Swami on the stage. We had made a temporary stage on the ground. It was Swami, it was Clive Lloyd, is a West Indies legend. We had Sunil Gavaskar, Alvin Kalicharan on the stage. And we were given the opportunity to hand off the trophy to all the players. We were all in band uniform. So, it is like, a good, it made a good, a picture moment, right? This is where I talk about duty with love, right? I think still in that same frame, because Swami has different hats to wear, right? And that's how I loved. I loved looking at how, like I said, zoom back and look at how things happen at scale, in a small place called Puttaparthi. The third one is, again, going back to a personal example, staying within the duty with love, where this is Swami as a chancellor. This was in my second year of MBA in Parthi. We had gone for darshan. We came back, right? We were kind of almost, doing nothing in the room, getting ready maybe for lunch, whatnot, right? Then suddenly I get a call from my warden calls me and says, "Hey Chandra, you're being called to the college, the university campus. The admin block was on a hill. Okay, let me go." I went and changed into whites and started walking towards the college. So I was in that time figuring out what, and I blanked out halfway through. I said, okay, let me see. And I'm just few minutes away from his office. Let's see what is there. I had no idea what it was, right? Then I entered his room. Then he said, okay, Chandrasekhar, we have a finance conference coming up in a couple of days, and Swami wants you to speak in that conference. I was absolutely, shock is understatement. Seeing my reaction, he said he wanted to reconfirm because this is coming from Swami, right? Then he went and checked, hey, is this your registration number and all that? Then everything sorted out, it was me. Then he said, look, this is whatever topic you pick, you can go talk to. He did mention two other professors whom I can go and practice and all that. He said, Swami has told, Swami, this is Swami's order, go prepare. That's it. On the way back, I was like, what is going on? Because, yes, I mean, you are an MBA, you have been talking and all that, but not to the extent of where, the confidence of addressing, a formal audience in front of Swami. It's a great opportunity. But the way I looked at it was, why me? Because then I said, look, okay, Swami has, given this, there should be a reason. So I did, okay, I said, let me do my effort properly, and remaining, we'll see. Then I prepared, and obviously, it was my first time talking to a large audience, right? I didn't do a good job. I was not happy about it, right? So after that, I took Padnamaskaram, and then when Swami was walking out after that particular session, the session when I spoke, my other Krishnamurti, my brother, spoke, and then Swami spoke, and then after that he was going out, and I was there. And he came straight to me, and he was like, lifted his hand, he was almost slapping me. And he said, basically what he mentioned was, he spoke to me in Tamil. He said, look, I mean, what it meant was, I'm there, you should have the confidence. So the beauty was, he didn't say you didn't speak well. That was a fact. But he said, I'm there, you should have the confidence. Again, going back to when he said it's my duty, right? It is not a point in time statement, right? It is a statement which is applicable much beyond what I can comprehend. Then I will move on to the last bucket, which is love without duty is divine. This is truly, very impactful. This is something I'll start with the personal experience, but end with again more of a big picture angle to it. Because for me, I see everything Swami does is big picture, right? I think it's only a question of whether we are receiving it the way he wants us to receive it, right? So the first one is a personal experience, which is so this was the event was my father's 60th birthday. So this is something we were planning. Obviously, I was still studying there. I was in my last year of MBA. So typically, like any other student, you request your parents to come. My elder brother was also there, and then we thought, oh, hey, Swami will, let's tell Swami we are here and ask for his blessings. Blessings means interview, right? Period. I think you take him so granted, right? So things look nowadays. I laugh at myself, but at that point in time, right, that was it. Swami should talk to us, right? So yes, my parents were in Parthi, my brother was in Parthi, and that was the day of the 60th birthday. I obviously was sitting there, like you can guess, absolutely Swami ignored us, big time, right? Nothing happened. They waited for 3-4 days, then they went back. I was absolutely disappointed, right? And or they were going back, right? We were talking, why that again. This is all introspection, right? I think I am again grateful to be in a family which is trying to introspect why Swami did not do something. That's also a blessing, right? Because at the end of the day, what I think is it's not about we asking and him giving. That's not what it is. This is about there's a bigger message to be learned, right? So you were thinking why, and suddenly my mother tells me, "Hey, hold on. Last year, when we got an interview with Swami, what happened was, maybe I'll narrate that a bit, was again, we got an interview this time along with my grandmother, my maternal grandmother. The moment we went in, Swami created a chain for my mother and then told my father to put it on my mother. And when my father was putting it on my mother, he was chanting the Mangal Sutra mantra. And then she says, is that not 60th birthday? I think there was a silence. The beauty of this is 1 year before even we could even think of asking Swami, here he was, and he didn't even mention it. I mean, this is Swami, right? We think we have to think, ask him, and then he will respond. This is, unfortunately, I have to remind myself about this again and again. But the fact of the matter is, here is a phenomenon. I can't even call him divine. It's this much, much bigger than that. It's a phenomenon who's only thinking about us. And the whole definition of prayer changed after this conversation, right? Which is, what are we going to ask him? I feel very silly when I start praying for something nowadays, right? But then that's where duty comes into play. But then this kind of is very impactful around Swami doesn't need to talk to you, so doesn't need to physically come in, and acknowledge what we asked to, right? This was something, again, I'm very grateful, right? This is where I thought, maybe I'll zoom back from all of this, because for me, my humble opinion, everything Swami does is universal. Not just universal from a physical perspective, but universal from every angle possible. Because this is where what he has told us is very relevant. Because when I spoke about, right, I used to like sitting at the back and looking at what the way Swami orchestrated everything, right? Then now, I'm part of a doctoral program. I do a lot of empirical research, right? So I got attracted to, obviously, I'm in healthcare, life sciences. So I wanted to do more research in healthcare. Then I got exposed to this concept called social determinants of health. What amazed me was SDOH is a very known, I would say, not even a concept, known term in the industry today, social determinants of health. It has 6 parameters. I'll talk about it, and you'll be amazed to see how it's relevant, right? So the 6 parameters are access to education, access to healthcare, economic stability, then there is social and community context, and then neighborhood and the built environment. What struck me was this is exactly what Swami did. He touched every single aspect of these 6 parameters. Right? When you talk about access to education, I am a recipient of it. Right? I was part of that system. I am part of the system, which benefited, complete all-round education, access to healthcare. I mean, I don't need to talk about that. Economic stability. Look at how Puttaparthi as a village. I mean, we can just take example. I think we don't need to make it bigger than what it is, right? Economic stability is something which was brought to that geography, right? Then talk about social and community context. Grama Seva, what is it? It's nothing but social and community context. How do we influence the community, right? Influence meaning how do you contribute back to the community and make the community better overall? Then talk about neighborhood and built environment, which is component of what seva we do in the community, right? It's beautiful. I think what this is where I thought, how can we, again, my learnings are, yes, it's very personal, all that, right? But then there is a bigger picture in everything we are doing. There is a purpose, a bigger purpose. And that's what I thought, Swami wants us to, we can put it in different names, bigger purpose to go internal, bigger purpose to go external, whatever. But I think there's a constant effort to understand that purpose. And that is what I am grateful to, right? Just the thought of understanding, there's a long journey ahead, but the thought of understanding and the thought of going in the journey of understanding the purpose is what I am grateful for, and very thankful to Swami for that, and thanks for this opportunity.
Sairam, Brother Chandra, thank you for sharing your personal stories, but weaving it with Swami's phenomenon. He is a phenomenon, and he's broader what's the aspect that we only get to find out after we go through a particular journey, but he's already thought about it, done it, because he has the bigger a picture in mind, right? It's pictures, sort of such a light word in this case, but I just really love the part where you said love without duty, right? The examples that you gave for duty with love is very, very resonates very nicely, where we can actually kind of break it down and say, this is what it means. These are examples. But the part where it's love without duty, where your father's 60th birthday, you think, okay, it's 60th birthday, Swami, you have to bless my father, my family, all of that. But hindsight, when you think about it, and your mother's insight also to guide your family, he already did it last year, right? That is the takeaway here, I think, because that's the same thing with the 6 aspects of social determinants of health, right? You are being exposed to it, but when you look back, it's like, wait, Swami's already done this. He's already given us ways to participate in it, and where now we are learning through science, right? And we think we are learning everything, but he's already done it. I want to go back to the first part about in your interview where you're saying thank you to Swami because he gave you what you asked for, but his perspective was, it's my duty. Right. And he was showering that as a father figure, as a divine being. It's like, it's my duty. It's almost like you're meant to be there. I'm giving it to you because it's my duty. And witnessing the details of how much he cares for every single being, every single event, to recognize that these athletes have bananas in between, to go to that detail, to who would have thought to ask that kind of questions, right? When you have so many other things to also plan. So you had mentioned that Swami makes you feel like you are the only one that he cares about, whereas everybody's feeling the same thing. So that's the phenomenon of Swami. Finally, I think this is a wonderful takeaway. The reason you did not, in your perspective, and maybe in Swami's perspective, did not do absolutely the best in standing up and presenting in front of a formal setting is so that you can have this lesson learned.
Yeah.
You're probably a lot more aware, a lot more practicing that concept of, I am here, have the confidence. And that's more of a life lesson in that tiny moment of so-called not doing a good job. That's more valuable that way than doing a good job and say, oh, I did a good job in front of Swami, right? So every moment has teachings, and every moment has this thing of love without duty, right? Swami has been guiding you with just love, and showing you that I'm there for you. Such a beautiful experiences, and weaving it into this very important concept of Swami's already there for us and already taking care of things. We just have to have faith and trust and confidence.
Absolutely.
Sairam, Brother Chandra, thank you for joining Sai Soul 100.
Sairam, sister, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Sairam, dear listeners, thank you for listening to Sai Soul 100 with Brother Chandrasekhar Sharma. I'm Prabha Swaminathan. Until next time, Jai Sairam.